Okay, so let's have a look at BTC, Bitcoin. This is 1 day chart. We'll look into both a higher time scale, like weekly, monthly as well, and also drilling down to 1 hour, up to 1 hour. So starting with 1 day, what do we see here? This has bottom right here. This is a capitulation. This is a quick fall. This is how usually um, correction ends. Now, there are two things. This could be total, this could be an end of this correction, or this could be buying some time. We'll go with the first scenario where we think that this is the end of the correction. However, there are certain conditions for this to be true, and the conditions are simple. It must not break below S4.4. Yesterday, it went below this line but quickly recovered, which is good thing. And what we want is it should break above 4.1. So in yesterday's call, I mentioned that if it can break above 4.1 support, as you could see, now it's giving hard time at this moment. So if it could break above this level, then it should be able to break above S4 as well. S4 had rejected couple of times, as you could see, but this time if it can break above S4.1, then historically speaking, what I have observed, that then S4 is not a problem. Should be able to break above S4 in that case. So what you see here is the consolidation in this range around 40K on an average, plus minus couple of $1,000. Then you will see consolidation in this range around 46K, which is like 46K 47K range. Okay, so that would be good right now. As long as Bitcoin is below 4.1, there is element of risk. When I say element of risk, means we have to watch out. It doesn't mean that we have to take action, any sort of action at this moment. It's just that we have to be watchful, because if it goes below this level, as I said, then I think downside pressure will go up as well, right? So far so good, because this bounce was very timely, and also from level point of view, this is what we wanted to see. But it must now break above 4.1, followed by 4, S4 and so on, right? And then consolidation over here would be healthy. Again, as we talked about this, that this bounce was good, but it could not break above this level 57, 58K. And this is where our alert was raised. A similar thing, this bounce is, even if it breaks above this level, it must break above a green level. Earlier green level was here, now the green level is here. So same thing, it must break above. What does it mean? That we can say that this is all positive so far, because this is the worst thing, and the bounce is a positive thing. Consolidation is also positive, because it's not dropping and retaining the value. Also, if it's not making any lower low except this quick dip. So far so good. This was also scary last night, but in a sense, it tried to go down, but not didn't break below this previous day, right? So that's another positive thing. But now it cannot just stay below S4.1. It must climb up, and once it reaches in this region, then we should be feeling, there should be relief in a sense, that even if it fails for some reason, there will be enough time for you to take action, enough time to plan out, right? So that point of view, it is going to be good for alts as well. As you could see, some of the alts like H bar right now, and not many, but some alts started moving up. But as soon as this Bitcoin goes up, breaks above S4, I think we are going to see the total change in the behavior from alt. Right now, each and every alt is under pressure, because BTC is moving under this very limited, narrowed, confined region, right? So first requirement for us, for everybody, all these coins to free up, is to for BTC to go up, above S4. Okay, so that's 1 day scale, and these are the levels, very important levels, as you could see. Now let me drill down to show you that why I'm saying that. Look at this one. So look at this. This is the support, then broke below, then we got another support, and so on. Again, this um, 4.1 provided the support, then this provided the support, now this became a resistance. So what it's showing us that it is really following technicals, right? This is not just coincidence that it is stopping here, right? It is, this is 4.1. So that's why this level is so important. So if it breaks above, it will have enough momentum to break above. So this is so important. So we are supposed to watch this very carefully, because if this fails and comes down to this, then there is a the probability of lower low could go up, because this is the this is a retest. Another retest could be up to this one possible. Okay, but the point is we don't want that, because it's just show the weakness. Okay, if it comes down to this, we'll see what happens. But this is not a desired scenario we want, because it has already done this retest, and now it's climbing up, and we want it to continue. So this is what we want to see. If it comes down to this, I would not say it's a bad news, but then it simply means that it would delay the breakout process, and also it will make us engage for longer time, and there would not be any other opportunities for sure, right? Because even this level is not for short. So you cannot even short, because it could bounce very quickly. So this kind of level is no way good for short traders. I mentioned this in my tweet last night, because if anyone sees this dropping, don't assume that it is going to crash down, and it's so dangerous. And you could see this went up. So anyone who tried to short must have paid price for that, right? So this is also not a good time for shorting, and this is also not good time for putting a lot. Yesterday in one session I explained that if you are on cash, right, then not a financial advice, but don't assume that everything is all right. But this is not a pessimism. This is about understanding that this the required level is higher. That means you can start a little, so you can refer Bitcoin and could buy some else. Okay, that is also doable. If any alt diverging, like you see H bar, then it's a different case, right? So this is a total divergence for at this moment, but most of the coins are under influence of Bitcoin at this moment. So if any alt is doing totally different, like H bar, then of course you can try that out. Okay, but for majority of the coins, they are currently under influence of Bitcoin. So what you could plan is you slowly try to ramp up, like as and when Bitcoin achieves this level. So you can say these are achievements, achievement number 1, 2, 3, so on. That way you will never face any major risk, downside risk, because you are careful and and not exposed enough. You would not be overexposed to any kind of downside risk. Okay, so that's a couple of like points from management point of view, and these are the levels that you need to track. And just wanted to show how why this 4.1 is so important, and why look at the even this one was so important, right? And even this was so important when it was trying to go up, and it defended earlier here, failed it, but then now. So all these levels are playing their roles, if you could see. So that way, so this is the benefit of having all this level, knowing this level, because then you know what is really happening on technical side, price action point of view. Otherwise there is no way to figure out, right? So this will let you make decisions, and that is more than enough for any trader because you know when it breaks above S4.1, you could take action. If it breaks below this, you could take action. And as I said, when you take action, whether buy or sell, it has to be incremental. It cannot be just 100%. This is so important for trading. This is always applicable, no matter what. Even this coin is pumping. Um, you have to tell yourself, okay, my strategy won't change because it's pumping. And similarly, if the coin is dropping, the same strategy, your strategy would not change. When I say strategy, means the sell all and buy all kind of mentality should not happen. Should not be, I mean, should be avoided, in my opinion. Okay, it's up to you. This is my experience. So I would repeat certain points, especially in critical times like this, so it is reinforced that way. Okay, so this is Bitcoin at lower scale. As you could see right now, it is still under downtrend. So one simple way to look at it is, look at this, that it is following this one, the downtrend. So the right now still the downtrend is going on, but now as soon as it breaks up by S4, the balance would change, and when it breaks above green, it should reverse the trend. So that's how it works. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Mm, Now let's look at the weekly, and let's look at the weekly without drawings. As you could see in a larger scheme, this is a main wave started in month of March last year, and this is a correction, uh, a deep one. 40-50% correction is deep one, and usually you would see many corrections like this in bull run. So usually 40% correction is always there. There were multiple 40% corrections in last bull run, and this is the first one. We got first one with a 50, so it was like it compensated for no correction so far, because all these corrections were tiny, teeny tiny. You know, and I was wondering when the correction is going to happen. It's not that I wanted to have, but it was unreal. The whole entire move was unreal. I never seen this kind of move in history of Bitcoin, especially when there is so much of participation, and volume and valuation. When coin is new, you would see a pump, but when the coin with a billions of dollars in it, and then you see this kind of bull run, this is extraordinary. And people get worried on this, all these small drops, and and this one would shake them up. I would say just get used to with it, and this is how it works, and this is the best you can get. Okay, there is no other bull run better than this one. So if the best bull run is not, if you're not able to handle the best one, then I don't think crypto can offer any other better bull run. So this is my take. Whether you like it or not, I'm trying to be very straightforward on this one. This is how it works. You have to just adapt it. Okay. There's no other solution to this. If you have any query, question, feel free to ask. This is how crypto going to work. Anyone who is out of the game just because of this drop need to retrospect and see that, don't try to overdo things. And when this is like a traffic jam, I often explain, this is like, you know, this is when you see a breakout, this is where you put money and more money. When you see this kind of drop, whether it's a drop is minor or major, but that's where you slow down. As soon as you get the required height, which we have it, then you accelerate. So this is like driving a car. You need to know when to decelerate, accelerate, and sometimes do nothing. Sometimes no trading is a good strategy. Sometimes you just take a break for a week, you know, until the things settle, and don't try to do anything silly. When I say silly, means it is any adventurous thing, like leverage trading, or all in one coin, and chasing pump and all those kind of a thing should be avoided. So if you think about all these best practices, then you can play for long, because here you will earn a lot if you play for a long. Those who are short-sighted, who thinks that 1 month 2 month I want to squeeze in everything, then they are not going to last long. Because in crypto, I often say, if you slow down, you end up earning more. So when I say slow down, it's a slowing down your thoughts, slowing down your money supply, right? And slowing down your anxiety and everything. You slow down because when the crypto is super fast, you have to slow down. So it's like that. So you kind of you balance the effect of crypto, because whatever movement that you see is not normal. Let me tell you, no asset gets uh, gets change in valuation like crypto, because it's a speculative asset. It's not a real asset. Okay, real asset is the asset which is being used in real commerce. This is not being used in real commerce except few exchanges and few exchange of money. There is some use case, but the point is, right now this is speculative asset, and no real asset gets double or gets into half all of a sudden, right? So only it happens in crypto because there is no base for the valuation. So when there is no base for the valuation, you have to ready for anything. The drop could be 50%, 60%, 80%, and 90%, who knows, or sometime the coin vanishes. So you have to be ready that if you're invested in something, it could just vanish, okay, one day. So this is crypto because it's speculative. So all these facts to be always known. I mean, we should always remember all these facts and plan accordingly. So there is money in crypto, but only for those who understand the game. So it's all about understanding the game, right? So, and I'm trying my best to share what I learned and repeat myself in many occasions, those best practices. But I think you got it. So I would say, zoom out your vision, look at the big picture. Okay, understand that situation right now, situation need to be watch out, slow down, take a break. That's all right, because you will recover if you stay, and if coin goes up, and it will go much higher uh, once it breaks above the green level, right? And once it does, then you won't remember all this, because you have seen that even the bounce was good, right? So, and it's not crashing at this moment. So let's give few days. Right now there is also some bad news coming from different part of the world, and so that is also contributing, right? So there are a lot of things happening, and when that lot of geopolitical thing also happening, let me touch base that, because this is also important. So this is not just about technology, this is also about power, and there is a politics involved. So there are two types of politics, I would say. One is the traditional market. Those who believe in traditional market would also try to resist the establishments and all, right? So they have choices, either they come into crypto or they fight with crypto. I don't want to say who will win and all. Point is, there if they fight, that means it will try to slow down, and that's the impact that you see. I'm trying to mute. Please don't unmute. I tried twice. Um, so there's political the political and power reasons, and that's why it hampers. It basically delays the progress, and that's what we are going to see. And in my point of view, we haven't seen this much in past. We have seen some occasions they were like more but talk but not action, and many time news and all. But what I foresee is, there will be more regulation, there will be more crackdown, and there will be more bad news. But in my point of view, that those are not bad news, because bad news only when they restrict us, then it's bad news. But if, let's say, regulation says I want to regulate exchange, that's not bad news. But if regulation says, you cannot buy this and this asset, then it's bad news. So I think we have to be subjective about regulations, and I'm always a subjective about anything in the world. You cannot just portray something with a broad brush. In a way, you cannot say, as soon as you listen to, I mean, as soon as you hear regulation, you cannot just condemn regulation. I think you have to say, okay, regulation is coming. First, you have to ask what kind of regulation we are talking about. Is it applicable to me, or is it applicable to exchanges? If it is applicable to exchanges, it's good for you because there is a consumer protection involved. That means if they are doing any malpractices, it will be stopped or at least reduced, whatever way. So it is a good news. So whenever regulation comes, first we have to ask, is it for us or is it for exchanges or anyone who is involved in projects and so on, right? Sometimes regulation helps listing coins which are crap. Who knows? So if if they are preventing, it's good for us, right? But if there are coins which are good in our opinion, but they are being restricted, then that's not good for sure, right? So regulations, not all regulations are good and not all are bad. So that's my take on regulations. But regulations are coming, and the bad news, the FUD we call, um, so they are not bad news all the times, but the way they are, you know, portrayed, as I said, is is make the situation worst and create panics many times. So we have to be vigilant about and very, cognizant about what is the truth, underlying truth, because on Twitter I see crap so many times. The and herd mentality means if some big guy says something, they just follow without any kind of research. I try my best. I have a small account. I don't have a huge footprint, but you see my tweets. I try my best to enlighten finance and other areas where people have misconceptions, like money supply, like fiat money, credit, like limited supply, store of value. There are there are wrong concept. People are having wrong concept, and I'm trying my best to shed light on those aspects which are not being told in a right way. So, but as I said, I have right now lesser footprint, but I'll continue doing what I think is right. And of course, in on this platform, I'll do my best. Right. Um, I tweeted some of today morning about limited supply and all. We should not be assuming limited supply is a big deal. I gave it an example of water. So water is abundant, but we pay for it. As simple as that. If you get this, you get all. So anyone who is selling Bitcoin because it said it's a limited in supply, and vice versa. If somebody is defaming or demeaning Doge because it has infinite supply, has to think about water as an example, and then do the research and come back. Another thing, for example, Doge is for payment, BTC is not for payment at this moment. BTC is miserable for payment because of a lack of speed and high fees. Like people complain about Ethereum for high gas price, and that's why other platforms are building cheaper platform for blockchain for utility token, right? For the same reason. So if so, Ethereum and other blockchain are like competitor because they want to build better Ethereum, and the main complaint for them is scalability. Same thing. So similarly, in payments world, BTC is not there for payment because it's expensive. Like Ethereum is expensive from gas, and that's why other platforms are flourishing and they are competing. And they come up with for a reason, and people buy for a reason. If a main coin or Ethereum is has everything, then there's no need to build any alternative platform. People build because there's something missing, something is lacking. So anything that is being developed in parallel is good for the ecosystem. So in BTC, whatever Satoshi did well. It is working fine, but it is incomplete work from scaling point of view. And team is putting effort. I'm not saying no, there's no progress. There's immense progress. But point is, the progress is there, but it's not usable at this moment. So if any coin is making something usable, why not? So at this moment, BTC is focusing more on B, store of value SOV rather than a payment. So if the Doge is focusing on payment, there's no competition, right? The Doge is payment, BTC is for store of value. So where is the competition? There's no competition in comparison. It's futile to compare both because both have different use cases and so on. So topics like this, there are many topics I could think of, And I think everybody should research. Even you don't have to trust me, you don't have to believe me. I would say the same, like for others, whatever you listen through this medium or Twitter or any other platform, never accept the truth without your own research, right? So I often say, even don't trust me, don't need, there's no need to. You can listen to all, but never trust anyone unless you are convinced, unless you do your own research. So that's my take. If I do the same, I listen to many, but I don't trust everyone. So I have found good things from Craig Wright. Let me tell you, I have that some people criticize someone just by namesake. For an example, right now this Elon is being criticized. So if you heard word Elon, it's disgusting. That kind of mentality. It's not like that. I learned from Craig Wright. I learned from John McAfee. So it's not that about a person, it's about something. I believe in getting or learning something from each and every one. So maybe one person is, providing 99% of content which are correct and valuable, and a one person who is defamed, okay, might provide something 5% maybe, but it nobody is crap. Some everybody has to offer something. It's us who need to find out the truth. So this is how I approach. And especially when somebody is criticized badly, I think you should really look into that, that why he or she is being criticized, because it could be political reason, it could be some power game. So when any project or individual is criticized for something, I don't think people should just join that herd or join that that guy who is doing that. We should find out the truth, in my opinion, and if we are convinced from through our own research, then we should trust. you know this is my take. So as I said, I listen to Craig Wright because I want to see what BSV is doing. I listen to Roger Ver. I want to see what BCH is doing. And I listen to so many other people, right? Not just BTC. So it's not that I favor anything. I don't favor anything. I favor only those who are successful in real world use. So that's my take. Anyone who can make crypto usable, right, is my favorite coin. As simple as that. So these are some areas where just wanted to touch base, because right now there's so much of news going on and all. I think from learning point of view, it is so important that you have this kind of open mind, right? So with that note, I'll complete this session on the Bitcoin. I'll take a break here, short break, stop the recording.